Hey Annie, it's the Improving Mama. I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys my quick and easy, super delicious beef stew. My family's been feeling pretty under the weather and it's been cold and rainy, so I figured something warm and filling would be a great option for dinner. I added a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of a heavy bottom pan, and I just put away all the veggie scraps for my next batch of broth. I'm going to go ahead and brown and season 2 pounds of stewing beef. These packets of stewing beef, the beef is super tender already, so it doesn't take 2 to 3 hours for the beef stew to be done. Once I get all of the beef browned, I'm going to remove it from the pan and set it aside. Then I'm going to add the onions and carrots. And a heavy portion of my celery salt, because my garden doesn't have any ready celery at the moment. And I actually found out that I was completely out of red wine. And I had forgot to chop up the garlic. So I'm chopping the garlic here to add in a minute. But instead of red wine, I used a half a cup of sake and a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to go ahead and cook the onions and the carrots until they're tender. Well, the onions are slightly translucent and the carrots are tender. I'm going to go ahead and add half a can of tomato paste and 3 cloves of garlic, and then cook those until they're fragrant before I deglaze the pan. There we go. That's the apple cider vinegar and sake, and I'm just going to go ahead and scrape all the yummy goodness off the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to add in the potatoes and 3 pints of my vegetable broth, because I don't have any beef broth currently. Add in the beef, some thyme, some salt, some pepper, and some Worcestershire sauce. And then I just let it simmer until everything is nice and tender and delicious. And then once it was done simmering, I just added seasonings to taste and served it hot with oh, I actually made biscuits on this one too. These were the biscuits from when we did the easy chicken pot pie. So these are the frozen biscuits. I preheated the oven to 425 and put them in for, I think it ended up being 15 minutes. Now I'm just going to go ahead and remove the 2 bay leaves that I added at the beginning and completely forgot to tell you guys about. So my kids don't accidentally eat them, because they will not be pleased if they end up biting into a giant leaf in their dinner. I'm not sure why, but my kids are always assuming that I'm trying to poison them with things. The other day, my middle child looked at me, she's like, "Mom, I found a stick in my dinner." And I was like, that's a seasoning, honey. She's like, "Why is it a stick in my dinner?" I was like, I don't know. Anyway, now I am going to go ahead and check to see if the potatoes and the carrots are done. That way we don't end up having crunchy carrots and potatoes in our beef stew, because it's just not appetizing to have underdone veggies in your beef stew. A bite is fine, crunchy is not. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a final taste test. Well, not a final taste test. I think I tasted like 2 or 3 more times. It needed more celery salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and pepper. And as you could see there, I added way too much pepper. So I ended up having to add a little bit of sugar to try and counteract the pepper. And that's there. And I'm going to go ahead and do a cornstarch slurry, because it is a quick beef stew. The potatoes do not add enough starch to thicken it up. So I do a cornstarch slurry just to give it that nice thick beef stew consistency. And now it's time to check on the biscuits. They are not done. So I put them on for another 3 minutes, which puts us at 15 minutes, and then I actually ended up having to put it on for another 5 minutes. So a total of 20 minutes in the oven. And I know they don't look done there, but I swear they were done. And that's the finished product. It was so delicious.